of you. Good afternoon to all in summary. This is a very unprofessional spoken English from Learn English with KMD platform where learning English and speaking English is made much easier. I'm back again, I'm live again. Well, this live session is dedicated to reading, reading, writing, speaking, and listening are four important components of any language. So today's live session, this live session is exclusively for reading. I'm gonna read out one more lesson, one more story from the book written by Sudha Murthy, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories. Well, the caption of the lesson or the story I'm going to read today is Afro JRD. It starts like this. There are two photographs that hang on my office wall. Every day when I enter my office, I look at them and start my day. They're pictures of two old people. One is of a gentleman in a blue suit, and the other is a black and white photograph of an old man with dreamy eyes and a white beard. Many people have asked me if they are related to me. Some people have even asked me, is this black and white photo that of a Sufi saint or a religious guru? I smiled and replied, no, nor are they related to me. Then why do you look at them and start the day? These people made an impact on my life. I'm grateful to them. Who are these people? The man in the blue suit is Bharat Ratna J.R.D. Tata, and the black and white photo is of Sir Jamshedji Tata. But why do you have their photos in your office? You can call it gratitude. Then, invariably, I have to tell the person the following story. It happened a long time ago. I was young and bright, bold and idealistic. I was studying in the final year for my master's degree in computer science at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, which was then known as the Tata Institute. For me, life was full of fun and joy. I did not know what helplessness or injustice meant. It was probably the April of 1974. Bangalore was just becoming warm. Red gulmohars were blooming at the IISC campus. I was the only girl in my postgraduate department in engineering and was staying in the ladies' hostel. Other girls were pursuing their research in different departments of science. After completing my post graduation, I was keen to go abroad to do my doctorate in computer science and had already been offered scholarships for universities in the United States of America. I had not thought of taking up a job in India. One day, while on the way to my hostel from the lecture hall, I saw an advertisement. I saw an advertisement on the notice board. It was a standard job requirement notice from the famous automobile company, Telco. It stated that the company required young, bright engineers, hardworking with excellent academic background, etc. Absolutely. Is that absolutely? Thank you, Mr. Yanis G. Fan. Thank you very much for joining me today. Really appreciate you joining me. Sir, absolutely ka Hindi. Absolutely. Oh, well, I guess the spelling is wrong there. The spelling is wrong. Mr. Bean, hi, Mr. Bean. Thank you very much for joining me today. What's your name, Mr. Bean? And how are you doing today? Well, this is a live session exclusively meant for reading, and I'm reading one of the stories from the book written by Sudha Murthy, How I Taught My Great Mother to Read and Other Stories. It stated that the company required young, bright engineers, hardworking, with excellent academic background, etc. At the bottom, there was a small line: lady candidates need not apply. I read it and was very upset. For the first time, I was faced with gender discrimination. Though I was not keen on taking up a job, I took it as a challenge and decided to apply. I'd done extremely well in my studies, probably better than most of the boys. Little did I know that in real life, to be successful, academic excellence is not a necessary condition. After reading the notice, I went fuming to my room. There I decided not only to apply for the job, but also to inform the topmost person of the management of Telco about the injustice. I got a postcard and started to write. But there was a problem. Who was the head of Telco? I did not know. I was so ignorant that I thought it must be one of the Tatas. I knew J.R.D. Tata was the head of the Tata Group. I'd seen his pictures in newspapers. Actually, Sumant Mulgaonkar was then a chairman, which I was not aware of. I took the postcard and started writing. Even now, I clearly remember what I have written to JRD. Tatas have always been pioneers. They are the people who started the basic infrastructure industries in India, like iron and steel, chemicals, textiles, locomotives, etc. They have cared for higher education in India since 1900 and are responsible for the establishment of the Indian Institute of Science. Fortunately, I studied there. But I'm surprised that in such a company, you can make a distinction between men and women. I posted a letter that was written in anger and after a few days forgot about it. Within 10 days, I received a telegram stating that I had appeared for an interview at Telco Pune at their expense. I was taken aback, but my hostel mates told me I had to use the opportunity to go to Pune free of cost. And the reason Pune saris were cheap. I was told to buy saris for them. I even collected 30 rupees per head for each of their saris. Now, when I when I look back, I feel like laughing at the reasons, but then they seemed good ones to make a trip. This was my first visit to Pune. I fell in love with the city, and even to this day, it is very dear to my heart. I feel as much at home in Pune as I do at Hubli. The city changed my life in so many ways. As directed, I went to Telco's Pimpri office for the interview. There were 6 people on the panel. It was only then that I realized this was serious business. This is the girl who wrote to J.R.D. I heard them whisper to each other as soon as I entered. But then I knew for sure that I would not get a job. And when I wouldn't get a job, why should I be scared? So I was rather cool for the interview. Even before this started the interview, I knew they were biased, so I told them rather rudely, I hope this is only a technical interview. They were taken aback by the rudeness, and even today I'm ashamed of my attitude. During the interview, they asked many technical questions, and I answered all of them. Then one elderly gentleman with an affectionate voice told me, do you know why we said that lady candidates need not apply? The reason is that to this day we have not employed any ladies on the shop floor of the factory. This is an automobile company or industry. Trainees may have to work in shift. For training, we may have to send them to Jamshedpur in Bihar. All our plants have men and machinery. Our trainees may have to drive. We have a trainees hostel and a guest house for them. If a lady enters, then how can we accommodate her? We did not know how men on the shop floor will accept her. How will she come for a shift? We care for our employees, particularly if she is a lady. It is not a college where there is no gender difference. This is a factory. When it comes to academics, you are a first ranker throughout. We appreciate that. People like you should work more in research laboratories. I was a young girl from small town Hoopley. My world was very small. I did not know the ways of large corporate houses and their difficulties. So I answered, but somewhere you must start. Otherwise, a lady will never be able to work in the factories. You are pioneers in many aspects of life. When I looked at your industries, you are far ahead of other people. If you think this way, then how will any lady ever enter the so called man's domain? Training a candidate costs a lot to our company. You are of a marriageable age. After your training, you will leave this company and shift to wherever your husband works. Is it not a waste of money for us? I thought for a moment and replied, I definitely agree with what you say. I'm sure when many of you married, your wives came along with you. That has been our tradition. But it is also not true that many men undergo training and just for a few more hundred rupees, they shift their jobs. You don't have any rule for them. You can't stop them. Finally, after a long interview, I was told I had been successful in securing a job at Telco. On the way back, I got down at Hooghly, my hometown. I was eager to meet my friends, always my best friends, and tell him my adventure. I was sure he would be happy and praise me. But I was in for a shock. He was very upset. He said you should have basic manners when addressing elderly people like J.R.D. Tata. You should have written the letter more politely and put it in an envelope instead of sending a postcard. Now you had to take up this job because you are not morally responsible. That is what my future had in store for me. Never ever had I thought I would take up a job at Pune. There I met a shy young man from Karnataka. We became good friends and got married. The elderly gentleman who interviewed me was Dr. Satyamurthy, who was an excellent technocrat and human being. I worked with him for some years after joining Telco. I realized who JRD was. He was the uncrowned king of Indian industry. I did not get to meet him until I was transferred to Mumbai. JRD had an office in Mumbai House, the headquarters of Tata Industries. When I was supposed to show some reports to our chairman, Mr. Mulgaonkar, whom everyone always referred to as SM. So I went to his office on the first floor of Mumbai House. While I was in SM's room, JRD walked in. That was the first time I saw Apro JRD. Apro means ours in Gujarati. In Mumbai House, people used to affectionately call him Apro JRD. By this time, I knew who he was and was feeling very nervous, remembering my rude postcard to him. SM introduced me very nicely. Jay, look, this young girl is an engineer and that too a postgraduate, and she has worked on the shop floor at Telco. Is it not unusual? She was the first girl on our Telco shop floor. Jerry looked at me. I was praying he would not ask me any questions regarding my interview or the postcard. Thankfully, he did not ask me anything about that. Instead, he remarked, "It is nice that in our country girls are getting into engineering. By the way, what's your name?" When I joined Telco, I was Sudha Kulkarni, sir. Now I'm Sudha Murthy. Where do you work? At Nanavati Mahalaya, I replied. He smiled at me, nodding his head, and the two men started the discussion. I just ran out of the room. After that, I used to see JRD on and off. He was the chairman of a large group of companies and was only an engineer in one of those companies. There was nothing we had in common. I used to look at him with awe. One day I was waiting for Murthy to come and pick me up after office hours. To my surprise, I saw JRD standing next to me. I did not know how to react. I was feeling uneasy. Again, I started worrying about the postcard. Now, when I took back, I realized JRD must have forgotten about it. It must have been a very small incident to him, but not so for me. He asked me, "Young lady, why are you here? Office time is over." I said, "Sir, I'm waiting for my husband to come and pick me up." Jerry said, "Is it getting dark?" It is getting dark. There's no one in the corridor. I will wait with you until your husband comes. I was quiet, used to waiting for Muti, so I was not bothered much by having to wait in the dark. But having JRD waiting along with me made me very uncomfortable. Out of the corner of my eye, I looked at him. He wore a simple white pant and shirt. He was old, yet his face was glowing, without any air of superiority. I was thinking, look at this person. He's a chairman, a well respected man in a country, and is waiting for the sake of an ordinary lady employee. As soon as I saw Murthy, I rushed out. Jerry called and said, "Young lady, tell your husband never to be late and make his wife wait." In 1982, I had to resign from my job at Talco. I was very reluctant to resign but did not have a choice. Even now, my love and respect for the House of Tatas is the same. I always looked up to JRD as my role model for his simplicity, generosity, kindness, and the care he took of his employees. After I had made my final state settlements with the company, I was coming down the steps of Bombay House when I saw JRD coming up. He was absorbed in some thought. I wanted to say goodbye to him, so I stopped. He saw me, he also stopped. Gently he said, "So what are you doing, Miss Kulkarni?" That was the way he always addressed me. "Sir, I'm leaving Talco." "Where are you going?" "Pune, sir. My husband is starting a company called Emphasis, so I have to shift to Pune." "Oh, what will you do when you are successful?" "Sir, I do not know whether we will be successful or not." Never start with diffidence, always start with confidence. When you are successful, you must give back to society. Society gives us so much, we must return it. I wish you all the best. Then Jordy continued walking up the stairs. I stood for a while, watching him. That was the last time I saw him alive. Many years later, I met Ratan Tata in the same Bombay office, occupying the same chair as JRD. I told him many of my sweet memories of working with Telco. I said, "I cannot call you Mr. Tata like Murthy calls me. You are occupying Afro." JRD's seat. "You will always be chairman, sir, to me." Later, he wrote to me, "It was nice listening about Jay from you. The sad part is that he's not alive today to see you. I consider Jerry as a great man because, in spite of being an extremely busy person, he valued one postcard written by a young girl who was asking for justice and questioning him. He must have received thousands of letters every day. He could have thrown mine away in a dustbin, but he didn't do that. He respected the intentions of that unknown girl who had neither influence nor money and gave her an opportunity to work. He could have thrown mine away in a dustbin, but he didn't do that. He respected the intention of that unknown girl who had neither influence nor money to, and then gave her an opportunity to work in his company. He did not merely give her a job, but also changed her life and mindset forever. Today, in any engineering college, I see that 40 to 50% of the students are girls. On the shop floor of many mechanical industries, we see so many ladies working. That time I think of JRD fondly. If at all time stops and asks me what I want from life, I would say I wish JRD were alive today to see how the company we started has grown. We would have enjoyed it wholeheartedly. Well, with that, we come to the end of another story or another lesson written by Sudha Murthy in a book called How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories. Once again, what an inspiring story it was. Well, on behalf of all of us, on behalf of me, and on behalf of all my listeners who are listening to me through this, live session, I would like to thank our very own Sudha Murthy for sharing all her valuable lessons with us. Thank you very much. What an inspiring lady she is. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Bean, are you still there? Hello, Mr. Bean. How are you doing today? What's your name, Mr. Bean? And NSG fan. Absolutely. Absolutely का हिंदी में मतलब होता है कि जी सरासर सरासर absolutely right. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to one and all. Good afternoon to Upright Man Jacob. Good afternoon to all on Sunbury. How are you people doing today? I'm doing pretty well today. Thank you very much for joining me live today. This is a very unprofessional spoken English trainer from Learn English with KMD, a platform where learning English and speaking English is made much easier. Well, this live session was exclusively meant for reading part. Well, as far as my live sessions are concerned, I've got them divided into two categories. So the one we are doing right now is exclusively meant for reading because reading is as important as speaking itself. Reading is as important as writing itself, right? So if you are good at reading, then you're good at writing, and then you absolutely become good at speaking as well. So, hello, hello, hello. Well, with that, we come to the end of our next lesson from the book written by Sudha Murthy, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories. Well, on that note, I'd like to take your leave. Thank you very much, all the people out there, for joining me a lot today. But with a promise, I'll come back again with yet another lesson, with yet another story from the same book written by Sudha Murthy, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read and Other Stories. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.